High vibrations, sweet babies. We are getting lots of messages right off the rip. And you know what's so funny is that I had this feeling, hang on, let me get my recording situated. I had this feeling that I needed to do a reading, and I didn't really have any signs or symbols necessarily coming through, or so I thought. But I just had this feeling that once I sat down and literally touched my cards, that the message would come through 37 on the timestamp, and that's exactly what is happening. Healing is significant. The number 13 is significant. I want to just encourage you to have some kind of beverage as you listen along with this. Take a sip of water as you're listening. Anything that is healthy and good for you. And I want to just start off by saying something very specific. And I kept hearing spirit in my ear, in my head, saying, "Let me make this very clear. Okay, you are not a martyr. You are not destined to suffer from your choices." Let me pull cards to see the deeper meaning behind that, which was coming through very, very clearly for me. Okay, but I just want to also say a few things that have been coming to mind. I apologize for my long absence. It's been definitely a time for me in the 3D world. I've had, it's required just a lot of my presence and a lot of my focus, quite frankly, a lot of my resilience. And it was really important for me to just stay very present in the 3D. And with that being said, I'm very glad to be back shuffling with my cards, because I'm always tapped in, tuned in. 222 has been showing up, but I just there is like a sense of relief to be sitting here with my cards. And I'm a little bit close to a busy road today. I'm parked up at a nice view. The weather's still warming up here, but I just felt like I needed to get into a really good view and pull my cards like I do. For those of you who are new here, I am Hannah, aka Bunny on the internet spaces. I am a glamour and fashion model. I am a women's empowerment and life coach. I kind of keep changing that up because I need to sit with that a little bit more and really rediscover what it is I need to proclaim as my title. And I also love to dabble, just pulled the card 37, in the woo-woo spaces, because yes, I love it. And I was really feeling this urge to call. That's interesting. To pull some cards. So first and foremost, I want to just go ahead and encourage you, if you are drivers, to buckle up, okay? And honestly, that kind of feels like the energy for this reading is like, okay, strap in, put your seatbelt on, buckle up, and look what's at the bottom of the deck. Traffic cone, caution. So somebody here needs to really be cautious, maybe specifically on the roads. I would say make sure your brakes are all good to go. But even spiritually, I want to just encourage my friends to just maybe pump the brakes or put a halt to something along those lines. Timer and time being up might be significant, kind of giving a stopwatch kind of feel, or a ticking clock. I want to say that sirens are also going to be significant. They usually are for us collective. The number 47 is also significant. Just saw it twice right there when I said it. The number 17 is also significant, and we have here the keys open doors. So let's talk about this. We're talking about the idea of being a martyr and having consequences for your choices. Like, you're not meant to suffer from your choices. What is Spirit trying to tell us here? How are we meant to learn from this? What is the message that needs to come through? I'm going to give it a good shuffle. I'm seeing that this might be specifically boundaries around your relationships. We have the card boundary and we have the card relationships. That was not a good shuffle. The energy. Where's the energy going? How is it being shared? This is actually something that I think is very, very crucial to discuss. Patience, yield. Okay, maybe pull back, but like I was saying, pump the brakes, the yield sign. We have like this yield energy, needing to maybe stop giving so much energy to a specific relationship or to something in relationships in general, because at the end of the day, my loves, like, we are spiritual people, okay? And for those of us who are making choices, this could be to anybody, really. Make sure they're not harmful choices to you or to anyone else. But I will say that this reading is not for anybody who's making harmful choices that are going to, like, intentionally hurt people. Like, you're whack. What are you doing? With that being said, we're all human beings and we all make choices. We all have different lessons to learn, cycles to play out, right? And sometimes that indirectly can hurt other people. I took a little sip. 444 is showing up, and also 4444 is showing up, like, very much so. I'm getting the sense that you have some angelic protection around you at the current present. This feels like Archangel Michael. And I want to say that I think right now the biggest form of protection you're being given is balance. This could mean, like, inner balance to handle a situation or to handle your current experiences in life, or this could be karmic balance that is going to really keep everything in flow. All right, so yeah, I'm seeing that really and truly, my friends, you're always on your path. If you've listened to my readings before, you know that this is how I always feel, and what I always come back to is that you're always on your path, whether it feels difficult, whether it feels like you're going through things that you don't deserve, which might very much be true. I just offer you the idea that you're always on your path, because it is a very sad and isolating feeling to think that you have lost your path or that you've lost your way. And I think it gives us power back to think about our experiences as a means to learn new skills, even if we don't deserve it. And most of the time we don't, like, that's just very much the way of life. I do feel like karmic energy is very present here, Saturn energy, and whatever you're enduring at the current moment, there will be balance for this, and you are being protected at this time. This is going to require more firm boundaries, like I was saying before. Something about doors being open, keys opening doors. Keys might be significant. Doors might be significant. Hearing doors might be significant. This has been present for us in our journey for a very long time, collective. We've had a lot of these symbols show up before. But I do think that there is a change required. And I'm curious what these changes look like. And remember, these are changes that are always in your best evolution, right? Your journey has the ability to change you into your highest and greatest good, no matter what the circumstances are. And I see obstacles. Okay. Mountains are significant. Roads are significant. Driving, like I've been saying. But I'm also seeing pine trees, evergreens, which is really interesting. So some of you, not some of you, probably all of you have endured a lot in your life. You have endured a lot of things that, I'm going to say it, 37 at the bottom of the deck, you didn't deserve, and it wasn't fair, okay? But at the end of the day, we have to trust in the balance of things, okay? And I feel like I'm being asked to share that, the angelic protection around you is restoring balance to things. There's going to be a change in your obstacles. There's going to be a change in the obstacles that you're facing, the challenges that you're facing. I was about to put the deck away, but I feel like there's more that needs to come out. Yep, here we go. Exactly. I'm just sort of laying these out, and I'm in my vehicle, so I don't have the most room. But I'm seeing familiar patterns. I also feel like ancestors are watching over you right now as well. But there's something to do with possibilities and what's possible and out there for you. I am going to pull some clarifiers from my other deck here. And you're getting messages. This can be taken spiritually or otherwise. But you're going to get messages that really show you where you're needing some healing. Okay? Yeah. And I just want to say this. I feel like the energy around you currently is so, I almost don't want to say it, but I just think it's true, like messy. Something is messy, and like you need to just maybe like put some highway between you and that situation. Not saying to run away, but to give yourself space to actually like heal and work through some things. I do feel as though there's like this hermit energy of like, it's time for you to be with yourself and look at some stuff. And this can be in like meditation. You don't necessarily have to like go retreat into the woods somewhere. Although I do feel like nature is going to be extremely healing, and really, it's not even healing. It's like you need to go be in nature. Like I said, it's kind of chilly here still for me, but I am trying to work on, getting myself out there and into nature. So this is sort of the messy energy that I'm feeling into, and it's a lot of gamble energy, like somebody gambling with whatever, fill in the blank. It doesn't have to be money. It could be choices. It could be problem solving. It could be the opportunities that they're given. It could be a number of things. Okay, but I also see here addiction and bad finances. So this is the energy that I'm sort of feeling is around you at the current present. Evil eye did pop out. I feel like, it really is important that you understand you are being very much divinely protected at this time. And I'm really just getting this sense that there is something just threw off my focus. Forgive me, my friends. Okay, yeah, there's this energy that, in the past, we were on a journey of really facing some oppositional energy, some very problematic energy, and you may have been initiated to kind of like show some teeth in the matter. But when it comes to this situation, collective, I'm just feeling like this very like, I don't think you understand what I've been through type energy. Like, you've been on the journey. You've done the necessary battles. And what I feel like is very crucial to understand is that whatever you're up against right now is like not a worthy opponent. I hate to say that like that, but it's not worth your energy. It's just not a worthy opponent. It's nothing to lose sleep over. Ooh, interesting. Like the messy energy that's around you, it's like you're really just surrendering it and letting it go right back to sender. It's like it's no longer welcome in your body. Maybe you were feeling some nervous system dysregulation, as I was, because that's what really is like a big alarm bell for me, that I need to be focused on really being rooted and present in the 3D world, because yeah, the body is magic, the body is wisdom, and I really, we all really need to be fully in our bodies in order to receive like some of the most beautiful healing and the most beautiful connection to spirit. A lot of people think, it's all about going upward and, going into the upper spaces. But I'm sorry, there's something so spiritual, so beautiful, so divine about the very real present world around us. And, using spirituality as a form of escapism really does does more harm than good. But what's so funny is that I had the evil eye card in my hand, which is, do no harm, but take no shit. That's my little spin on it. Do no harm, take no shit. Like, you're not here set out to hurt anybody. You're not here to use anyone or gain anything from someone's misfortune. Like, you have no malintent. And this is my collective. This is who I'm speaking to, right? So whatever messy energy around you clearly is just playing in your face, because you are giving some of your most beautiful, delicious, groovy energy, and someone is making a mess of it. All right, that's the feeling that I keep feeling into. Okay, so your ancestral patterns might be affecting what's possible for you, and I'm seeing the world, I'm seeing the globe, and I'm seeing like, a lot of possibilities out there for you. And you need to listen to your messages. Like, this is, I'm gonna say, more towards like gut healing and your gut messages and being fully embodied, so that you can really discern the difference. Okay, because this is for these people who have done that work or are doing that work, right? Not people who are lost in their anxious thoughts, not those who are, impulsively making decisions from high emotional states, right? This is for the people who sit with the stuff, who feel the feelings, who regulate, who understand that we're responsible for our own energy and how we respond. When you receive your gut messages and your gut feelings, Spirit is telling you it's safe to act on them. Okay, it's okay to act on them. You have done the work. You are divinely protected. Anything that is messy or confusing or playing in your energy will receive the balance and the healing that's needed. Okay, you can go ahead and get very clear on what it is you're trying to manifest. I do this every so often because life happens at such a magnificent, mystical way that my life evolves and unravels. Oh my goodness, evolves and unravels in such a way that what I want to manifest and the vision I have for myself becomes more and more clear, through each passing day. And, I'll be honest, a lot of things show up in my life that lately that have made me really think about some of the big things that I want. And I think this is a message for us collective to really sit down and discover what that is. Because when you make these manifestations clear in your mind and you tell the universe, or you tell God, tell source, the divine, exactly what you want, and you are in prayer for that, you can absolutely begin to expect its arrival. Okay, and I do see that this might be helpful in discovering what that really is. Your time for fun is ending. Don't take this the wrong way. All right, don't take this the wrong way. Your definition of fun is changing, is probably the better way of saying this. It is not about, you know what? I'm feeling this urge from Spirit to just tell you to go sit down and discover what that means for yourself. What does fun mean to you? What does it look like for you? How do you want to have it in your life as who you are now and where you are now? This is not meant to always look the same throughout your entire life. In fact, it shouldn't. As you grow, right, and everything in divine timing, let things flow, your life is going to shape and mold what things feel good to you and your body, your mind, and your soul. What used to be fun to you as an unevolved person who was disconnecting from themselves, using things as a form of escapism, running from their feelings, all of that groovy stuff, because we're human and we've probably had to learn a lot of really juicy lessons, right? That person's form of fun is probably different than the version that you are today. And the version that you are today might have fun that looks like the fun that you used to have as a child. It can change. And if it hasn't changed, that's okay too. But I do feel as though it might be worth looking into as to, what is changing, right? There is for sure this... Ooh, this card is backwards in the deck. Intimacy. Sexual chemistry, reminiscing. Perhaps the fun that you're having or that's changing is involving intimacy. Distance. You might be at a physical or emotional distance from something. Interesting. 1111 is for sure significant. Think about what you were praying for, what your rituals look like, what you kind of concluded for yourself in the 1111 portal. If you were listening along with me, whether you did it on your own practice, tune back into that energy. Maybe even go back and listen to that reading to jog the feelings and the messages and symbols that were present for you at that time. Okay, I think we're done with this deck. I'm just going to pull a few more clarifiers. What are we looking at with time? Okay, we're making good time. Self-love has definitely been very significant as well. You might be 555, 47. You're not crazy. 27's also been significant. This is a symbol for a divinely, or rather should I say, a person who is there for your spiritual evolution. Okay, you're not crazy. Okay, back to start. New moon. Figure out what you're gonna do for your new moon ritual. This might be a very helpful healing time in figuring out like really where you're at and what you want for yourself. I see father wounds. Okay, we did talk about some ancestral patterns. 222, we said that one. Yeah, I'm also seeing 333. Return to sender. Did I not say that? That's wild. Divine union. Okay. Interesting. So you may be somebody who is on like a path to being in a divine union. And this is necessary work that needs to be done. Necessary work for yourself, necessary work for your connection to spirit, your relationship to spirit, and necessary work for your relationship to another person. I do feel like there is throat energy showing up. Things need to be addressed. Okay, so this is powerful, right? Because avoidant is also here. Ooh, let it out. Wow. Okay, so something needs to be let out, let go, addressed, expressed. You know, something's being avoided. And I think that this is really powerful that throat energy is showing up here, because it's, while these words are very much, you know, what these clarifiers are very much about like saying something, speaking something, like that's what initially comes to mind for me. But the throat space and the throat center in itself is just about truth. Are you being truthful with yourself? You know, forget other people for a second, right? Forget all that. What are you needing to be more truthful to yourself about? What are you avoiding? What is something that you are just clearly not addressing? And as I'm saying this, my throat started to like get a little bit tight, okay? And I do really feel like something needs to be addressed, something needs to be expressed in some way, in some form. You have the discernment and the free will to decide if that is a conversation that needs to be like had. Or you can go ahead and just like take time to express it, maybe through art, to maybe like do something creative. Maybe it's through movement, maybe you dance, but ultimately how you express yourself and allowing yourself to really be truthful about what it is going on internally is really going to offer you some major healing. Okay? So, like I said, I do see this being very much like some ancestral patterns. So maybe like have a conversation with people who can, you know, discuss those patterns with you, help you make sense of those patterns. You know, look at your family with grace and really look at their story. 47, remember, it's safe to trust your intuition. And it's safe to act on your intuition so long as you've been doing the work to actually be in your body, to actually, you know, make sense of, okay, this is really interesting. I think there's two types of people here who need to like, okay, I was talking to those people who have done that work, but if you have not done that work, I'm going to offer you a little bit of guidance, okay? Do the embodiment stuff, okay? Notice your dysregulation. When do you start thinking more? When do you become anxious? When do you feel yourself, disassociating from conversations or experiences? Go to therapy, my friends. Get help with mental health problems, okay? So that you can really begin to make sense out of what is your train of thought and what is your body felt sensations, all right? Because your body carries so much wisdom. Your body has a lot of information for you on how to just feel about the things that you're experiencing and how to just, move through your experiences with flow and with ease. And make sure you're doing work around the ego. I know that third eye space and that third eye center is going to be a really important space for you to work on. I feel like eyes are significant. Eyes in general. This can mean a lot of different things. But the third eye space is really requiring you to just really, okay, what do I want to say, Spirit? Work through that third eye. Decipher what is the ego and what is Spirit showing you what you need to see. This can be some of the messages that you're receiving. This might be things that you're seeing, the way that you're looking at things. It might be like little synchronicities, angel numbers, animal medicine. It can be so many different things, and Spirit is definitely trying to communicate these things with you. So, let your eyes be open. Like, don't be asleep. Don't be sleepwalking through life. All right. Yeah. Make sure you're doing a lot of work around the ego, understanding what, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do like an ego, hypnosis or EFT or something. For those who are like very new to this work, because I think, it's safe to say we've all had to do the ego work. So some of us are just a little bit further along on that journey than others. And those of us who are a little more familiar with our ego and how it runs the show are able to, operate differently than that and become more heart-led, soul-led, and, spirit-led. But, we're not on a high horse. We're in no place to hold judgment over somebody who is still learning that and still figuring that out if they have, the right intentions in their heart. Okay? And I think this is like a very beautiful little tidbit that we can end on, is just this idea that, like, be around people who are not thinking about, what's that word I'm looking for? Just that hierarchy, like the power dynamics. Like, it should never be about, okay, this person has this person's above this. Like, remember that we are all people. We are all human. We are all people of this earth, okay? We all require respect. We all know something that the other person doesn't know, okay? And at the end of the day, how you're treating people, if there's like this pedestal involved, or how you're being treated, that's a really great way to start looking at the ego right there. The ego is definitely going to require a lot of shadow work, so be willing to go deep within yourself. And this is really great for the throat space because it requires a lot of honesty. It requires a lot of inner truth, a lot of inner acceptance for, what the stories that your ego may have been spinning are, and it might require you to look at yourself differently. It might require a level of accountability that you never accepted or taken before. It might require you to change things that make new beautiful blessings possible, right? So focus on the outcome. Like, why are you doing that work? Why are you working through these ego wounds and the stories and all of that stuff? Because you have a soul, and just bumped into my coffee cup. You have a soul, right? You have a soul-led purpose. You're not just here like kicking rocks until like your last day and then that's it. There's so much available for you, and however enriched you want to be in your life is completely up to you. And because you're here, because you're listening to this collective, I presume that you want to live a very enriched life. This isn't about money. This is about how present, how in love, and how ecstatic and turned on you are by your life, by what you have in life. And I don't mean in objects. I mean in your ability to feel joy, to feel gratitude, to feel like you're doing something that counts, that matters, to feel like people can rely on you, to be feeling, to be existing, to be a part of your life is really what your soul is craving, and anything else is just not going to feel right for you. So don't be a martyr to your choices, all right? Take this reading, maybe mull through it once or twice, because I know I came in hot and heavy. I did tell you to put your seatbelt on, honey, okay? But yeah, I really love where this reading went. I was really excited to be back and chatting with you. So with that being said, I'm sending you all my lovin', and I will talk to you soon.